What's going on, YouTubers? This is Seer6 here, and today I would like to touch upon a certain type of combat that no one really talks about, and that would be the use of bombers. Within the verse, there are two types of bombers. You have torpedo bombers and strategic bombers. The only known strategic bomber at the minute is the A2, which is still well within concept. So that leaves us with torpedo bombers, which range from capital ships down to medium-sized ships. So, what are torpedoes even used for? Well, a torpedo is a big, fat, slow, higher damaging missile that is designed for slower and bigger targets, so capital ships and ground targets. The nature of the torpedo allows them to be more resilient to atmospheric effects due to their inherently lower base maneuverability. This means, with the exception of capital ships, torpedoes, while in the atmosphere, are air-to-ground ordnance, and missiles are air-to-air ordnance. So rather than capital ship warfare, why do you need torpedoes for air-to-ground combat? Well, first, let us define the purpose of a bomber. The purpose is for long-range missions against strategic targets such as bases, bridges, factories, shipyards, and cities themselves. The overall objective is to diminish the enemy's ability to wage war by limiting their access to resources. Now, with the purpose defined, the ships that are used for the role come into play. So today, I'll be covering 3 torpedo bombers that only need 1 to 2 people to operate them. So that leaves us with the Eclipse, the Harbinger, and the Gladiator. Let's take a look at the Eclipse first. So, the Eclipse is a stealth bomber designed to get in, strike the target, and get out. It comes with 3 size 9 torpedoes and 2 size 2 front-mounted weapons of your choice, being the pilot. The Eclipse is classified as a medium-sized ship, but only has small systems, small-sized avionics, and small propulsion systems as well. So the element of surprise is your best friend. Given this, you need to know your target, deliver the payload, and leave as soon as you can, regardless if you hit the target or not. The longer you stay, the more likely you are to be detected. It's also noted that this ship is $300 store credit. Next is the Anvil Gladiator. The Gladiator has 4 size 5 torpedoes, 8 size 2 missiles or 4 size 3 missiles, a manned turret that has a decent angle of fire for both ground and air suppression, and could hold 2 size 3 guns of your choosing, being the pilot. In the future, the Gladiator will be able to equip rocket pods to further improve its offensive capabilities. The Gladiator is priced at $160 store credit. And last but not least is the Vanguard Harbinger. The Harbinger has 3 size 5 torpedoes, 4 size 4 missiles, it has a manned rocket pod turret, 4 size 2 cannons, and 1 size 5 gimbaled gun for the pilot. In my opinion, this is the A-10 Charlie of Star Citizen. The Harbinger also comes at the price of $280. So, could the Gladiator and the Harbinger be used for close air support, or CAS for short? And the answer is yes. These ships are perfect for the support role due to the fact that they have flight characteristics and have the firepower to eliminate ground targets. But an important note is the possibility of ground vehicles having the capability to use automated point defense weapons, or APDWs for short. An APDW, simply put, is a weapon designed to counter an incoming threat. But unlike countermeasures, an APDW shoots back at the missile and or torpedo that is targeting the vehicle it's attached to. This is quite similar to a modern-day naval Sea Whiz, basically the offspring of R2-D2 and an A-10 Warthog. So, within the verse, an APDW cannot counter bullets and energy weapons because they are too small to track. Due to the Gladiator having smaller and less hard points for the front-mounted weapons, this may make the Gladiator have to rely more heavily on the top gunner, more Gladiators on station, or multiple air-to-ground ordnance launches, or rifles for short, in order to overwhelm the vehicle's defensive systems. In return, this could bring up the overall cost of ships if you have more than one on station, the use of the ship's ordnance faster, and forcing the crew to get closer to the enemy in order for the gunner to get a decent shot. Let's put this into perspective. Let's say you're supporting org mates in a Gladiator. You spot an enemy Nova tank engaging an allied Ursa rover that is fitted with infantry fighting weapons. You lock and fire off one torpedo in hopes of destroying it. As the torpedo closes on the Nova, its APDW detects and engages your torpedo, and successfully defeats your payload. An option is to overwhelm the Nova's APDW by firing off the remaining 2 to 3 torpedoes, in hopes that one will hit the target and at least immobilize and or destroy the Nova tank. In the process, 4 torpedoes were lost. And even though the troops can advance, your standard missiles will not do much help if another tank was to engage your allies. Since you will have a manned turret gunner, you alternatively could attempt to harass the tank in hopes of the tank getting destroyed either by anti-tank weapons or the combined damage between you, the pilot, your gunner, and the grunts. The second option will be to sacrifice some of your air-to-air missiles for rocket pods, which is absolutely doable. On the other hand, the Harbinger pilot can use their powerful front-mounted weapons to fight against the tank instead of having to rely heavily on its limited number of torpedoes, or relying on its gunner to use the rocket pods, giving the Harbinger more versatility. The Harbinger also features a better avionics suite, giving it far more superior radar over the Gladiator, making the engagement distance farther and safer for the Harbinger in case of enemy SAMs. Both these ships have their trade-offs, but if planned and used efficiently, both ships can be easily fit into the role. The Gladiator does carry one more torpedo than the Harbinger, has more wing hardpoints, and is cheaper, but with similar capabilities and smaller. Given this, it could be better against SAMs and flak. Another issue that plays a role is range. How far is your target, and how fast can you get there? Range could be an issue if you're trying to intercept a target. The less range you have, the more stops it takes for you to get there, thus reducing your window of opportunity and your total time on station. Both the Eclipse and the Gladiator have small engine intakes and fuel tanks. Given this, they will have less range. The Harbinger, though, comes with medium-sized fuel tanks and medium engine intakes. Given this, it'll have better range and a longer loader time for support. CIG released a fuel matrix in April describing how fuel will work. If you are interested in how it affects you, feel free to click on the link in the description below. Given these factors, I hope you can make the choice that is best for you. If you plan on supporting the grunts and you have the funds, go for the Gladiator. If you're more of a sneaky squirrel, the Eclipse will kill the sunshine on anyone's day. And finally, if you want range and multiple selections to use, get the Harbinger. If this video was overall helpful, feel free to like, subscribe, and tell others about my channel. But with that being said, I'll see you on the flip side.